A. Types of houses or places people live in.
Detached house. Not joined to any other house.
Terraced house. Joined to several houses to form a row.
Bungalow. A house with only one story. No upstairs. Semi-detached house, or semi, informal. Joined to one other house.
Self-contained flat. Does not share facilities with any other.
Cottage. A small house in the country or in a village.
Studio flat. A small apartment for 1 or 2 people. Usually with one large room for sleeping and living in. A bathroom and sometimes a separate kitchen.
Villa. A large house with big gardens or a rented house in a holiday resort or tourist area.
B. Places in the home. You probably already know the names of most rooms and locations in a typical home. Here are some less common ones and what they are for.
Master or main bedroom. The largest, most important bedroom.
Utility room. Usually just for the washing machine, freezer, etc.
Shed. Small building separated from the house, usually for storing garden tools.
Attic or loft. Space in the roof of a house used for storing things. It can also be converted into an extra living space with stairs leading up to it. Attic or loft conversion.
Cellar. Room below ground level, no windows, used for storing things.
Basement. Room below ground level with windows for living or working.
Studio. A room in which a painter or photographer works.
Landing. Flat area at the top of a staircase.
Hall or hallway. Open area as you come into a house.
Porch. Covered area before an entrance door.
Terrace or patio. Paved area between house and garden for sitting and eating, etc.
Drive. A short road leading from the street to the house or garage. You can drive and park on it. C. Everyday objects in the home.
Remote or remote control.
Corkscrew.
Phone charger.
Peeler.
Toilet roll.
Chopping board.
Hanger or coat hanger.
Ironing board.
Socket.
Dustpan and brush.
Grater.
Table mat.
A. Things that go wrong in houses and flats.
This pipe's leaking.
He kicked the football too hard and it smashed a window.
This pot is cracked.
The batteries in this torch have run out. The batteries in this torch are dead. I'll have to get some more.
I'm sorry. Your cup's chipped. Let me get you another one.
The lights aren't working. There's been a power cut.
The door handle's come off.
The door handle's fallen off.
The washing machine broke down the other day.
I'm sorry. The biscuits were at the bottom of my bag and they got crushed by the potatoes.
My computer keeps crashing today. B. Everyday minor injuries.
She twisted her ankle coming down the stairs.
I bumped my head against the cupboard door and got a bruise. I banged my head against the cupboard door and got a bruise.
Kelly tripped and fell down and grazed her knee this morning.
C. Other everyday minor problems.
I've mislaid my memory stick. Have you seen it anywhere?
She spilt some coffee on the carpet. I hope it doesn't leave a stain.
The sink is blocked.
I'm afraid I've dented your car. I'm really sorry. I'll pay for the repairs.
My mouse has stopped working. It could be a software problem.
I've locked myself out. Can I use your phone to ring my wife?
The car won't start. I hope it's nothing serious. Perhaps the battery's flat.
The kitchen clock's slow. What time do you make it? The kitchen clock's fast. What time do you make it? The kitchen clock's stopped. What time do you make it? A. Disasters and tragedies.
Earthquake,
Flood.
Drought.
Volcano.
famine,
Landslide.
Epidemic.
Explosion. For example, a bomb.
major accident or incident. For example, a plane crash.
Hurricane. Or tornado. Or typhoon. Or tropical storm.
War or civil war.
Disasters not caused by human beings can be called natural disasters.
Verbs connected with these words.
A volcano has erupted in Indonesia. Hundreds are feared dead.
The flu epidemic spread rapidly throughout the country.
Millions are starving as a result of the famine.
A big earthquake shook the city at noon today.
The area is suffering its worst drought for many years.
Civil war has broken out in the north of the country.
A tornado swept through the islands yesterday.
B. Words for people involved in disasters and tragedies.
The explosion resulted in 300 casualties.
The real victims of civil war are children left without parents.
There were only 3 survivors. All the other passengers were reported dead.
Thousands of refugees have crossed the border looking for food and shelter.
Millions of migrants enter the country each year looking for a better life.
During the battle, the dead and wounded were flown out in helicopters.
C. Diseases or epidemics. Here are some headlines from newspapers, all connected with diseases and epidemics. Explanations are given.
Rabies out of control in many parts of Asia.
New AIDS unit to be opened this month.
New malaria drug tested.
Cholera and typhoid injections not needed, says Tourism Minister.
Rabies, disease, can be caused by bite from a dog, fox, etc. Very serious.
AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, often caused by sexual contact or contact with contaminated blood.
Malaria, usually caught because of mosquito bites.
Cholera and typhoid. Diseases causing sickness, diarrhea, etc. Caused often by infected food and water.
A. Stages in a person's education. UK system.
The youngest children start their education in a creche, where they mostly play, but also do some early learning activities. After that, they may go to a nursery school. Between the ages of 5 and 11, children attend primary school, where they learn the basics of reading, writing, arithmetic, etc. For most children, secondary education begins when they enter a comprehensive school or a more traditional grammar school, to which they gain admission by sitting an exam. The famous UK public schools are in fact private, fee-paying schools. Between the ages of 11 and 18, young people take a wide range of subjects in arts, sciences, and technical areas. In the UK, pupils can leave school at the age of 16, although many young people choose to remain in full-time education until the age of 18. In England, it is compulsory for young people to continue with some form of education or training until they are 18, even if they also have a job. From 16 to 18, young people may study at secondary school or at a sixth form college, after which they may go on to higher education.
B. Exams and qualifications.
You take, do, or sit an exam or resit an exam. At schools and sixth form colleges in the UK, students have to take formal end-of-year exams. At 18, a lot of students sit their university entrance exams, commonly referred to as A-levels. Students are usually given marks, for example, 75%, or grades, for example, A, B+, C. If you pass and do well, you get a high grade. If you fail, you don't get the minimum grade. If you skip classes, you'll probably do badly in the exam.
C. Technology.
With an LMS or a VLE, students can work online and do more distance learning or blended learning. Teachers can monitor students' activities and progress. Students can choose courses and/or modules, submit work, write blogs, access wikis and leave voice messages.
D. Talking about education. Common questions.
What's the school leaving age?
It's 18 in a lot of countries.
At what age does compulsory education begin? A. University studies.
Students who attend university in the UK start with undergraduate studies, which are the studies towards a bachelor's degree. They follow a program of different modules. They usually have to complete a certain number of credits each year. For example, if the students need 180 credits, they might take 2 modules of 60 credits each, and their dissertation might be worth another 60 credits. When they have graduated, students become graduates.
If they want to continue their university education, students can begin postgraduate studies. The first stage of this would be a master's degree, and after that they can do a PhD, Doctor of Philosophy. Postgraduate studies require students to specialize in a particular field, and they often do research. They usually have to write another dissertation for a master's degree or a thesis for a PhD.
B. People, places, and types of classes.
A university campus. A lecture theatre. A tutorial.
If you visit a university campus, you'll see a lecture theatre, or a lecture hall. During lectures, students listen to a lecturer and take notes. Some modules have seminars where smaller groups discuss the subject in detail. The academic staff might also include tutors who teach students individually or in small groups, in sessions called tutorials. Many students live on campus in halls of residence or halls.
C. Student services.
Admissions.
To apply for one of our postgraduate programs, check the entry requirements on the program page. Then click here to submit your application.
Funding.
Tuition fees should be paid at the beginning of the academic year. To apply for a student loan or a scholarship, click here.
Student union.
Visit our Student Union page to find out more about student societies and clubs.
A. Jobs in a workplace.
Director,
Executive.
administrator,
Skilled worker.
unskilled worker,
Receptionist.
public relations officer,
Union representative.
researcher,
Supervisor.
B. Trades and professions.
Professions.
civil servant, scientist, physiotherapist, designer, economist, judge, lecturer, ambassador, banker,
Trades.
Firefighter. Childminder. Electrician. Carpenter. Plumber.
C. Collocations of words connected with work.
It's not easy to get work round these parts. It's not easy to find work round these parts.
I've been offered work in Paris. I've been offered a job in Paris.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in publishing.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in banking.
It's hard to make a living as a freelance writer.
She's not prepared to take on that job.
Hours of work. To do shift work or to work shifts. To be on flexi time. To work 9 to 5. Not working. To go or be on strike. To get the sack. To be fired. More formal than get the sack. Often used in direct speech. You're fired. To be made redundant. To be laid off. More informal than made redundant. To be on or to take maternity or paternity leave. To be on or to take sick leave. To take early retirement. Other useful expressions. To be a workaholic. To be promoted. To apply for a job.
A. Starting a business.
Ryan Archer had an idea for a business. He had a computer, but it was never just right for all his personal needs. So he went to his bank manager and put forward a business plan to sell custom-built computers on the internet. He launched his business a year later, offering an individual service making desktop and laptop computers, and 2 years later rolled out an expanded range, including tablets and other handheld devices. His firm now manufactures around 200 machines a year and delivers to 26 countries around the world. Ryan said,
It's all about personal service and customer care. This was our priority from the start. We didn't really do any proper market research, and we weren't sure if such machines would sell, especially during a recession. But I felt there were enough potential customers to make it worth the risk. I was right. Soon, designers, scientists, academics and other professional people were requesting personalized machines, and our order books were full.
Going forward, Archer plans to expand the business further, and a new range of machines will launch next year.
B. Common business English phrases and collocations.
The CEO of a big corporation gave us these tips for success in business.
Do business in the markets you know best before trying to enter new ones. It may be difficult to access new markets. Build contacts, that's the secret. You may not make a profit immediately. Be patient. You will probably face stiff competition, so make sure your product is the best. Get regular feedback from your employees and customers. They know best.
A. Some sports whose names you may not know.
Hang gliding, bowling or 10-pin bowling, fencing, show jumping, windsurfing, snowboarding, scuba diving, snooker, pool or billiards, motor racing, archery.
B. Equipment. What you hold in your hand.
Golf, club, squash, tennis and badminton, racket, darts, dart, archery, bow, cricket, table tennis and baseball, bat, ice hockey and field hockey, stick, snooker, pool and billiards, cue, canoeing, paddle, rowing, oar, fishing, rod or line.
C. Athletics.
Discus, throw, javelin, high jump, long jump, gymnastics, pole vault.
She's a great sprinter.
He's a great long-distance runner. For example, 5,000 meters. He's doing a marathon next month.
D. Competition in sport.
She set a new Olympic record last year.
He holds the record for the 100 meters breaststroke.
England qualified for the World Cup but got knocked out in the third round.
Our team made it to the semi-final, but then we were beaten.
Our team reached the semi-final, but then we were beaten.
Most sports are very competitive these days.
She felt proud as she held the trophy in her hands.
Players who disagree with the referee set a bad example to the spectators and to their fans.
E. People who do particular sports.
ER can be used for many sports. For example, footballer, swimmer, etc. Player is often necessary. For example, tennis player, squash player. Some names must be learnt separately. For example, canoeist, mountaineer, jockey, archer, not archerer, gymnast.
A. Art and the arts.
Literature. Biographies. Novels. Short stories. Drama. Poetry.
Fine arts. Sculpture. Painting. Architecture. Ceramics. Making pots, bowls, etc.
Performing arts. Theatre. Dance. Cinema. Ballet. Opera. Concerts. Classical or rock or country and western.
The arts, plural, covers everything in the diagram above.
Art, singular, uncountable, usually means fine art, but can also refer to technique and creativity.
Have you read the arts page in the paper today?
She's a great art lover.
Shakespeare was skilled in the art of poetry.
Ask Sarah to help you decorate your room. She's very artistic.
A work of art, plural equals works of art, is an object made by a skilled artist, typically a painting, drawing, or statue.
The phrase arts and crafts is used to refer to the skills of making objects such as decorations, jewellery and furniture by hand.
B. Types of art and artists.
This is a sculptor. He's creating a statue. His type of art is called sculpture.
This is a potter. She's throwing a pot. Her type of art is called pottery.
Henry is an architect. He's designing a building. His type of art is called architecture.
An abstract painting involves shapes and colours, rather than images of real people or things.
A portrait is a painting of a person.
A landscape is a painting of a scene in the countryside.
A still life is a painting of a set of objects that do not move, usually fruit or flowers.
An original painting is one produced by the painter himself or herself, rather than a copy or reproduction.
C. Literature.
Lisa O'Donnell is one of the country's most popular novelists. She has written a series of romantic novels, all with a historical setting. These have all been bestsellers, although the critics complain that her plots are predictable and her characters are not very realistic. Her cousin, Lucy Smith, is a more literary writer, and her books tend to get better reviews, although they do not sell so well. Both writers have a novel which will be ready for publication later this year. They will also be available to download as e-books. We have received advance copies of both novels, and it is interesting to compare the opening passage from Smith's latest book with an extract from the first chapter of O'Donnell's.
A. At the theatre.
We went to see a new production of Hamlet last night. The sets were incredibly realistic and the costumes were wonderful. It was a good cast, and I thought the direction was excellent. Toby Cartwright gave a marvellous performance. It got rave reviews in the papers today.
Dance usually refers to modern artistic dance forms. Ballet usually has a more traditional feel, unless we say modern ballet.
A comedian is a person who entertains people by telling jokes. They may have a show of their own, or they may feature in a show with lots of different entertainers.
The people who watch a show are the audience. Viewer is only used about someone watching a TV program.
B. At the cinema.
Our local cinema's showing Spectre again next week. Do you fancy going to see it?
Yes, that'd be great. I love the opening scene at the carnival in Mexico City. The James Bond films are always set in great locations.
Yes, and I think the film really captures the human side of James Bond.
That's right. A lot of work went into the script for this, and the dialogue's particularly good, I think.
Do you know who the director was?
Sam Mendes, I think. He didn't write the screenplay, though. I'm not sure who wrote that. The score is by Thomas Newman. He also wrote the music for Skyfall.
C. Other words connected with events in the arts.
The Opera Society are doing a performance of Don Giovanni.
The National Theatre has a very large and versatile stage.
What's on at the cinema next week? What's on at the theatre next week? Note the two prepositions.
Sometimes they use our school hall as a venue for concerts. It's a little small, but is otherwise quite good.
There was an actor on TV last night promoting an interesting new play he's appearing in at the Globe.